All right, let's take a look at the practice test. For the instructions, we're asked to find the absolute value of each. For the first problem, we have the absolute value of this complex number, -3 plus 3i. So when we want to find the absolute value of a complex number, we have a very simple formula to follow. So the absolute value of a plus bi is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. I'll talk more about where this formula comes from in a moment. We did discuss this in the lesson, so if you've seen it already, when I get to that, you can just skip it. Otherwise, you can stay tuned and I'll explain where this comes from. For right now, let's just solve this really quickly. It's not too bad. So you would just match things up. So a, which is the real part of the complex number, that's going to be -3. And then b, which is the imaginary part of the complex number, that's going to be 3. So just plug into the formula. This is the square root of a is -3, so -3. Make sure you wrap this with parentheses. This would be squared. And then plus b here is 3, so that's 3 squared. Let me erase this. So let's say this is equal to the square root of, you would have -3 being squared, which is 9. And then plus you would have 3 being squared, which is 9. We know 9 plus 9 is 18, so this would be equal to the square root of 18. And of course, 18 you could think about as 2 times 9, and 9 is a perfect square. So what I would do is say that this is the square root of 9 times 2, and of course the square root of 9 is 3. So the simplified answer here is 3 times the square root of 2. Okay, for those of you that want to see where this formula comes from, let's just go ahead and start by plotting this -3 plus 3i that we were just working with. So we're going to do this on our complex plane. So let me again write a plus bi so we can match things up. So a, the real part here, is -3, and b, the imaginary part here, is +3. So we know on the complex plane, the horizontal axis is now the real axis, and the vertical axis is now the imaginary axis. So for -3 plus 3i, I'm basically going to plot -3, 3. In other words, I want to find -3 on the real axis. So from the origin, I'm going to go 3 units to the left. And I want to find 3 on the imaginary axis. So from the origin, I'm going to go 3 units up. So from the origin, go 3 units to the left and then 3 units up. So right there. And that would represent my complex number, -3 plus 3i in this complex plane. Let's stop for a moment and think about the concept of absolute value. If I asked you for the absolute value of, let's say, the number 6, so the absolute value of 6 equals what? Well, again, going back to pre-algebra, we would go to a horizontal number line and we would find 6 and we would say, how far away is this number from 0? So here's 0 right here, and you can count this way or this way. It doesn't matter. So let's just say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units away. So the absolute value of 6 is going to be 6. And then the absolute value of -6 is also 6 because it is also 6 units away from 0 on the number line. So if I go to -6 here, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units away. Okay. So let's take that same concept and now apply it to this complex number. So if I wanted the absolute value of -3 plus 3i, what am I asking for? I'm asking for the distance from this point right here to the origin, or what we would say as 0 plus 0i in the complex plane. So what you could do here is form a little right triangle. We know that with the Pythagorean theorem, we have a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, where c is the length of this hypotenuse here, or the longest side of the right triangle. It's the side that is opposite of this right angle. And then a and b, those are your shorter sides. They're known as legs. So what I would do here is just translate this into what I'm trying to work with. Let me get rid of this real quick. So this distance from here to here, or the length of the hypotenuse, is exactly what I'm trying to find to get the absolute value of this complex number. So this is going to be c, so I'm going to square that and say it's equal to, let me actually get rid of this real quick. We're going to think about what is the length of this leg here. Well, in this case, you could think about this right here as being -3, and this right here as being 0. So really, we don't want to say it's -3 minus 0, which gives us -3, because we're talking about a length. So what I'm going to do is just say it's the absolute value of, you could do -3 minus 0, or you could just do -3. It doesn't really matter. So let me say the absolute value of -3. And of course, this would be squared here, right? So we would take this and then we would square it. So then plus, what's the length of this guy here? So you could say 3 minus 0, so that's 3. Let me just put this inside of absolute value bars, and I'll explain why I'm doing this in a little while. But basically, this is your c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So all you would do now is think about the fact that the absolute value of -3 being squared is the same thing as -3 being squared. And the absolute value of 3 being squared is equal to 3 being squared. In other words, the absolute value of a being squared is equal to a squared. This is for any real number a. So we can actually drop the absolute value bars like that and go to this right here. And then what I could do is take the square root of each side. So I could say the square root of this side, and this would go away. And you're back to your formula, right? We said the absolute value of a plus bi is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So here we just have the square root of a squared plus b squared. So we're right back to that formula. And of course, we know this ends up becoming the square root of 9 plus 9, which is 18. And then we can break that up into 9 times 2. And of course, this becomes 3 times the square root of 2. So we just did that. We know what it comes out to. But we can take this and translate it into a generic formula, because essentially if I'm working with the absolute value of a plus bi, well, let me say this squared would be equal to the absolute value of a is always going to give you the length of the horizontal leg of that right triangle that you would form. So this would be squared, and then plus the absolute value of b, that's going to give you the length of the vertical leg that would be formed in the right triangle. So this would be squared. So again, c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. We know the rule, so we can drop the absolute value bars. And of course, I can just take the square root of each side. Let me just move this up here so it's a little bit cleaner. So again, the absolute value of a plus bi is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So that's where the formula comes from. All right, for problem 2, we have the absolute value of a -I. So if I get something like this, I would rewrite it and say it's the absolute value of 0 plus, I'm going to write this as -1 times I like that. And it makes it easier to match things up. Again, we look at the absolute value of a plus bi as the square root of a squared plus b squared. So here, a is 0, right? So this is the square root of, you can put this in, and I'll probably just do this for completeness. So this is 0 squared plus, you would have a -1. Make sure to wrap that inside of parentheses, and this would be squared. Okay, let me get rid of this. So 0 squared is 0, and we know that adding 0 to something is not going to change it. So let's just say this is equal to the square root of -1 squared. Now, here's where I want to caution people, because you get some people that try to cancel this with this and report the answer as -1. That is not correct. Remember, earlier in the course, we said that the square root of a squared is equal to the absolute value of a. The reason for this is simple. The -1 is going to get squared first, so that's going to change it into +1. So this would be the square root of 1, which equals 1. And you can just follow this rule and get this more quickly and say, okay, the square root of -1 squared is equal to the absolute value of -1, which is +1. So either way, you get 1 as the absolute value of this complex number. All right, let's take a look at problem 3. So here we have the absolute value of 1 plus 2i. So again, let's just write this out and say this is the square root of, let me go absolute value of a plus bi like this is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared, and just match things up. A here is 1 and b here is 2. So this would be 1 squared plus 2 squared underneath the square root symbol. So this equals what? We would have the square root of 1 squared is 1 plus 2 squared is 4. So this is equal to the square root of 1 plus 4, which is 5. So the square root of 5 would be the absolute value of this complex number. All right, let's take a look at problem 4. So here we have the absolute value of 3i. So let's say that this is equal to the absolute value of, I'm going to write this as 0 plus 3i like this, just to make it crystal clear that, again, the a here is 0, and then your b here is going to be 3, right? So this is the square root of a squared plus b squared. So here this would be the square root of You could put 0 squared in. I think we should do it because it's a tutorial. But if I was doing this on my own, I would just leave it off. And then plus, you have 3. That's going to be squared. So obviously, this would just be the square root of 3 squared, which is just going to be equal to 3. So let me write as a final answer that this is going to be 3 for the absolute value of this complex number. All right, let's take a look at problem 5. So here we have the absolute value of negative 3i. So just like the last problem, I would say this is the absolute value of 0. Instead of minus 3, I'm going to put plus negative 3 and then times I like that. And again, it's just easier to match things up. So the absolute value of a plus bi, match this up and match this up. So a is 0 and b is negative 3. So this is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So here this is equal to the square root of, again, you could put 0 in there. I will do it for the tutorial, but I probably would not do that if I was working this on my own. So 0 squared plus, for b it's negative 3. Again, make sure to wrap this. So this is negative 3 squared like this. You can get rid of the 0 squared because 0 squared is 0. And again, adding 0 to something does not change it. So this is equal to the square root of, you have this negative 3. This is wrapped and this is being squared. So again, please don't cancel this with this and report your answer as negative 3. The square root of a squared is equal to the absolute value of a. So the shortcut here is just to say that this is equal to the absolute value of negative 3, which is 3. Or again, if you punch this into your calculator, what your calculator is doing is saying, okay, well, negative 3 squared is 9. So this would be the square root of 9, which is 3. But again, this rule would make it a little bit quicker. And so the absolute value for this complex number is going to be 3. Okay, let's take a look at problem 6. So here we have the absolute value of 3 plus 5i. So this is going to be equal to the square root of, again, let me write this down here. So the absolute value of a plus bi is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So a here is 3 and b here is 5. So this is the square root of 3 squared plus 5 squared. Let me get rid of this real quick. So 3 squared, we know that's 9, and 5 squared is 25. So this is the square root of a 9 plus 25. And so 9 plus 25 is going to be 34. So this would just be equal to the square root of 34. Now 34 is 2 times 17, and 2 is a prime number, and 17 is a prime number, so you can't do anything else to simplify this. So our answer here for the absolute value of this complex number would just be the square root of 34. All right, let's take a look at problem 7. So here we have the absolute value of 2 plus 6i. So this is equal to, let me just write this down here. So the absolute value of a plus bi is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So a here is 2 and b here is 6. So this is the square root of 2 squared because 2 is a, plus 6 squared because 6 is b. And so this would be equal to the square root of 2 squared is 4, and then 6 squared is 36. So let's put 4 plus 36. And of course, 4 plus 36 is 40. Let me get rid of this and say this is equal to the square root of 40. And I'm going to write 40 as 4 times 10 because 4 is a perfect square. So this is the square root of 4 times the square root of 10. And of course, the square root of 4 is 2. So my final answer for the absolute value of this complex number would be 2 times the square root of 10. All right, let's take a look at problem 8. So here we have the absolute value of negative 8 minus 8i. So this would be equal to, let me write this down here. So the absolute value of a plus bi is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So here, a is negative 8, and also b is negative 8. To make that clear, go plus negative here, in case you're struggling with that. So let's say this is the square root of negative 8 squared. Again, a is negative 8, plus negative 8 again squared, because b is also negative 8. And so in each case, you're going to get 64. Now, 64 is a perfect square. So instead of writing 64 plus 64 as 128, what I'm going to do is say that this guy is going to be equal to the square root. Let me just do this in 2 steps. So this is 128. And then actually, let me back this up so that nobody's lost. First, you would have the square root of 64 plus 64. So this equals the square root of 128 if you add those together. So this, I'm going to break up and say this is the square root of 64 times the square root of 2. And I picked, again, 64 because it's a perfect square. It's 8 times 8. So the square root of 64 is 8. So you can say that this is 8 times the square root of 2 as my absolute value for this complex number. All right, let's take a look at problem 9. So here we have the absolute value of 6 plus 3i. So again, let me write the absolute value of a plus bi is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So here, this would be equal to the square root of a is going to be 6 and b is going to be 3. So 6 squared plus 3 squared. So this equals the square root of 6 squared is 36, and then plus 3 squared is 9. So 36 plus 9 is 45. Let me get rid of this. And we'll say that this is equal to the square root of 45. Okay, well, 45 is 5 times 9. So let me say this is the square root of 5 times 9. And of course, 9 is a perfect square. It's 3 times 3. So let's just go ahead and say that the square root of 9 is 3. And then times the square root of 5. So 3 times square root of 5 is going to be the absolute value of this complex number. All right, let's take a look at problem 10. So here we have the absolute value of negative 4 plus 4i. Let me write out the absolute value of a plus bi is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So this here equals the square root of, so a is negative 4. So let's put negative 4. Again, make sure to wrap this if you get a negative value. And then plus b here is positive 4. So let's put 4 squared there. So negative 4 squared is 16, and then 4 squared is also 16. But 16 plus 16 is going to be 32. But if you want to shortcut this, I wouldn't write 32. I would go 2 times 16 because 16 is a perfect square. Let me not lose anybody. Let me just go step by step. So first, this would be the square root of 16 plus 16. And this equals the square root of 32. But again, I'm going to break this up and say this is the square root of 16 times 2 because 16 is a perfect square. So I'll say this is equal to, square root of 16 is going to be 4, and then times the square root of 2. So 4 times square root of 2 is going to be the absolute value of this complex number.